I'm going to pick up on the garden spade where I left off on Monday, so I'm going to load that tool. Where did I put it? There it is. And draw it out. Go to edit mode. Get oriented around to it. Several ways to add the geometry for the handle. I could come in under subtool, append, and then look for, I could use a sphere or cylinder, something, do a lot of manipulation that way. Probably the fastest way to do it would be with the ring, like I showed in class. So here I could append the ring. Come on. There, and then do a lot of moving and editing. Another way would be with Z-spheres. I think I'm going to show that, so I'm going to delete that ring there and then do the same. It'll be the same sort of thing. So I'm going to append a Z-sphere and then make sure I have it selected so I can edit it. The first thing I'm going to do is move it kind of into place here, and then scale it down till it's about the diameter of the handle that I want to use. And I'm just going to use the hotkeys from now on. They're the same as, they're the WER for that. And I want to mouse up to make sure it is, it is holding in the center. So from the side view, I'm going to, and then once I get it, let's get it scaled just a little bit lower. Yeah, that'll be good. And we can always adjust these later, as you'll see. Move it kind of into place. Now I'm going to pick draw and just come over and click on it and draw out. Let's check that from the top. Yeah, that's kind of getting a little out of whack. It might be better to draw that from the top. So I can kind of keep things lined up. You can also turn on X symmetry and just make sure that you're getting one green sphere, so you know you're in the, or circle, you see it turn to green there, so you know you're dead in the middle there. Let's see if that'll work from the side. That may not work from the side. Yep. So now I can draw another, and you see that it maintains that. Now I can hit my W key and come in and move. And I'll probably want to drop the size of my draw size way down. And it doesn't matter in terms of how these things work. So now, I can move this thing out. So I'm just going to kind of move it out about the length of the handle. And if that's what you want, that's great, no problem. If you want to start adjusting in here, come out, double click to drop that sphere. And then switch to the draw tool, and you can come in and start to add new ones in, and I can move those. Let's move it kind of relative to that. Hit Q to draw, double click, click one there, click one there, double click, hit W to move, and then as you can see, you can start to adjust these. And I'll pick the video up right after this, and I'll be right back. Continuing on, so let's get a little bit more zoomed in here on this thing. And every now and then you probably want to mouse around to just get a sense of what's happening, or turn on the perspective so you get a little bit better sense of the size or proportions of things. So right now this all looks a little long, so I'm going to still, with my move tool, I'm going to adjust things around a little bit. Shorten things just a bit. And then with my scale tool, I'm going to scale down some of these pieces that are farther back. much there. See how that looks. Yeah, that's starting to look pretty good. We can always adjust these a little bit later. Let's actually make that one a little bit bigger. There we go. And then to see what you're going to get when this gets converted to a mesh, come down to Adaptive Skin, and you can click on Preview, and you can get a sense of what's going to happen with it. And the hotkey for that is A, so every now and then you can just press A to give you a preview of it. And this is not set the geometry yet. This is just a preview. So, and if you then need to add more, say you want to add in some, you can. Give you a little bit finer control over. I'm not going to, again, you just lose speed if you spent too much time dealing, moving things around and cleaning things up. Let's check A to see how that looks. Still a little kinked there. Essentially trying to create curvature with this thing. That's probably as good as it's going to get there. Yeah, so, and then once you're ready to go ahead and make that polymesh, you see the Make Adaptive Skin. Now the density controls the subdivision levels of it. So if I do this at density 2, it's going to have 2 subdivision levels. Say if I crank that up to 4, it's going to have 4, and so on. So let's crank it up to 4 and then preview it. And so yeah, that looks very, very smooth. So we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Click Make Adaptive Skin. Doesn't look like anything happened, but if we come back up here to you see it in our tool section, you see that Skin Z sphere. So let's go ahead and append it as well. So I'm just going to click Append, look for it, click that, and it's in there, and I can hide this. Let's turn these others off. Yeah, and so there it is. Let's bring the blade back. So I'll pick the video up right after this. Okay, continuing on. Let's see. So now I could just use my regular, any of my traditional sculpting tools on this, and we'll turn on X symmetry and make my brush size a little bit bigger. And the nice thing here too is because Adaptive Skin creates subdivision levels, I can drop down to the very low subdivision level of this thing and do some manipulation at this level, and it's going to be a little different than what would happen if I did it up at the very high, where it might end up, you may just get a lot of lumps. Actually, I'm going to back off on some of that. And I'm going to switch to, instead of this standard brush, I'm going to hit BMV to switch to my move brush and start to move things. It's still a little small, so let's get a large size brush there. And yeah, a little adjusting there. And if I need to make things, if I need to pull things up, down, or make things longer, I can. Undo that. Do a little bit of adjusting, try to ease off some of the kind of kinking in this. And let's see, it actually looks pretty good. Just kind of flatten the bottom some. Let's see. Here I may want to make my brush size a little smaller. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to spend too much more time sculpting this. Just want you to see the process for doing it. You know, it really could use a lot more kind of fine tuning, but again, you're trying to move fairly fast with things. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Every now and then hit P to go to perspective mode to get a little bit better sense of it. It's starting to look a little thin back there at the back. Let's see, let's get out of perspective mode. Get a top view here. Yeah, that's definitely too thin. Let's widen that some. And D will run my subdivision levels back up if I want. Shift D takes them back down. I actually kind of like that faceting. I might run Dynamesh at that you know, say one of these lower modes or lower subdivision levels than one of the upper ones. All right, let's see how that does. May come down. Let's try under deformation, just a kind of an overall relax to that. Yeah, that's a little better. Maybe a little bit of smoothing. Nope, not so much. Smoothing down here. See how that looks. No, I think it's going to be okay. And then I can use Dynamesh and clipping and all that to add you know, some other features to it. So let's go ahead and get up and see how that starts to look. To Dynamesh it, I'm going to have to delete these lower subdivision levels. So go ahead and do that. And let's turn off project, turn on polish, Dynamesh it. That's a little coarse. Actually, I'm going to leave it coarse for right now and work with that. And you'll notice that Z-spheres create multi polygroups. If you don't want that, just come here to polygroup group visible, and that should do it. So I'm going to just start with my clip curve brush and start to see how things start to look. If I start kind of carving out chunks on this, I'm hitting Alt to get some of those pieces. Yeah, that's starting to look good. So I'll stop the video, or not stop it, but pause the video here for a sec and then be right back. Up again, I want to increase the subdivision level of this thing. So I'm going to keep, so I'm still working with this, so I want to keep through the Dynamesh. So I'm going to run the resolution up 256 and see how that works. And yeah, okay, that seems to do a pretty good job.